Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Jaya Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadramaya, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jaya Gauranithai, 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 Jaya Gauranithai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Namo Vishpat Paramhansha Priva Jagacharya Ashtotta Shati. His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya, Beauty Founder Acharya, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Gauri Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Upasthi Samvita Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Vishwadaya Krishna. Can I have the book? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class, Canto 2. We're reading from chapter 7, titled Scheduled Incarnations, text number 51. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Ivam idam bhagavatam nama yanme bhagavato ditam yanme bhagavato ditam shringraho yam vibhutinam shangraho yam vibhutinam Tam etad vipuli kuru Tvam etad vipuli kuru Idam bhagavatam nama Yanme bhagavato didam Shangreho yam vibhutinam Tam etad vipuli kuru Idam bhagavatam nama Yanme bhagavato ditam Shangrayo yam vibhutinam Tam etad vipuli kuru Idam bhagavatam nama Yanme bhagavato ditam Shangrayo yam vibhutinam Tvametad vipuli kuru Idam bhagavatam nama Yanme bhagavato ditam Shangrayo yam vibhutinam Tvametad vipuli kuru What by what meaning? Idam, this, Bhagavatam, the signs of Godhead, Nama, of the name, Yat, that which, me, unto me, Bhagavata, by the personality of Godhead, Uditam, enlightened, Sangraha, in the accumulation of Ayam, his, Vibhutinam, of the diverse potencies, Tvam, your good self, Etat, the signs of Godhead, Vipuli, expand, Kuru, do it. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. O Narada, the science of God, Srimad Bhagavatam, was spoken to me in summary by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it was spoken as the accumulation of His diverse potencies. Please expand this science yourself. The Bhaktivedanta purport. The Bhagavatam in a nutshell, spoken by the personality of Godhead in about half a dozen verses, which will appear ahead, is the science of God, and it is the potent representation of the personality of Godhead. He, being absolute, is non-different from the science of God, Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahmaji received the science of Godhead from the Lord directly, and he handed over the same to Narada, who in his turn ordered Srila Vyasadeva to expand it. So the transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Lord is not mental speculation by the mundane wranglers, but is uncontaminated, eternal, perfect knowledge beyond the jurisdiction of material modes. The Bhagavad Purana is therefore the direct incarnation of the Lord in the form of transcendental sound, and one should receive this transcendental knowledge from the bona fide representative of the Lord in the chain of disciplic succession, from the Lord to Brahmaji, from Brahmaji to Narada, and from Narada to Vyasa, from Vyasadeva to Sukadeva Goswami, and from Sukadeva Goswami to Sutta Goswami. The ripened fruit of the Vedic tree drops from one hand to another without being broken by falling suddenly from a high branch down to the earth. Therefore, unless one hears the signs of Godhead from the bona fide representative of disciplic succession, as above mentioned, for one to understand the theme of the signs of Godhead will be a difficult job. It should never be heard from the professional Bhagavatam reciters who earn their livelihood by gratifying the senses of the audience. Om Agyanantirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Tam Tam Sajivam Swadvaitam Savadutam Vayana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishankhan Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taru Vasha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kaviviriritam kalmasapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatakam Bhuvi Grinnati Te Bhurida Jana Bhuvi Grinnate Te Bhurida Jana. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, in this section, in the previous verse, we went through that Lord Brahma is passing the knowledge to Narada, one of his sons. And it's interesting to find out that we know that Lord Brahma had many sons, but Narada Muni was born from the intelligence of Lord Brahma. So I just found out that, and it was like quite interesting that from the others, they also was born from different parts of Lord Brahma, but Narada Muni specifically from the intelligence of Lord Brahma. So here, Lord Brahma is passing this knowledge which he received from the Lord. And in this specific verse, the most interesting thing is that knowledge which was given to Lord was not this expanded. It was given to Lord Brahma in just few verses, and which we are going to read in coming verses. But then Lord Brahma expanded it, so that when he is giving that knowledge to the next one, who is next in succession, they can understand it and they actually can apply it. And that is the most important duty of spiritual master. So the spiritual master, they receive knowledge from disciplic succession. And when they receive that knowledge, as per time, place and circumstances, when he sees the followers or his disciples, he actually distributes that knowledge to them as per their intelligence. There is no, but by saying that, it doesn't mean that there is some distortion of the knowledge, rather than the explanation of the, it get it in a sense get more elaborated by the spiritual master, so that the audience can understand that. So that's why we see that this knowledge is so important. And this knowledge, which is coming from Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam here, which is Amala Purana, has been described as direct representation of the Lord. The Lord mercifully actually gives us the knowledge to perform devotional service. It's not like that He needs that from us. He is Swarat, He is fully sufficient. He is not dependent on anyone. But still, He actually very mercifully giving us this knowledge so that we can apply it and we can serve Him. And the entire of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that Srimad Bhagavatam deals with pure devotional service, explaining pure devotional service. Every living being, everyone, have this dormant love for the Lord in their heart. And then awakening that love is the ultimate goal of this life. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the means of that. Like Srimad Bhagavatam shows us that how that can be done. Because if it doesn't get shown to us how it can be done, it's very hard. We'll go through different kind of speculation, we'll do different kind of thing. We know that there are karma yoga, jnana yoga. To surpass those platform and to come bhakti yoga takes millions and millions of births. There are so many times that we are revolving in this cycle of birth and death because we are stuck in that realm of karma yoga, jnana yoga. We are doing something which probably pious activities, but it has some kind of reaction, action and reaction. And for that, we have to come back. Similarly with Jnana Yoga, when we get this knowledge, rather than trying to apply it or trying to understand the gist of it, we started doing various kind of speculation, various kind of determining the fact that, okay, how things are happening, rather than simply surrender to the Lord and ask Him for help to understand it. The Jnanis and the Bhaktas both have the knowledge. What is the difference? The Jnanis wanted to understand the knowledge on their own, because they think that I have all this knowledge, so I am scholarly, I have the capability to analyze it and understand the meaning of it. But the devotee doesn't think like that. When a devotee gets that knowledge, they don't start analyzing it like, how it is possible. They say, oh, this is such a wonderful example. I should try to apply that. Application. For devotees, the main thing is application. I got this knowledge, let me try to apply it. For Jnanis, I got this knowledge, let me try to analyze it. So that analysis and this application, it just it takes so much, when you put so much time into analysis. There is a word in English, with analysis, say that when someone goes through so many analysis, it says analysis paralysis. I don't know if you have heard that word. when someone is go through so many of those, it kind of paralyzes them. They can't move on. And that's what happened with the Gyanis. But the devotees simply try to take that and apply it in the devotional life. Say it like, okay, we are listening this, we are getting this instruction, let me apply it. So that's why it's very important that we follow the principle of Guru, Sadhu and Shastras, right? So when we get this knowledge, if we don't go through this principle of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, it's very hard to put the knowledge into application. Guru, we know that, whatever Guru says or whatever Guru does is on the basis of the Shastra. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te dhyanam jnanis tattva darshina. So the Guru who has seen the truth. So that's why whatever they do, it's on the basis of the Shastra. And the Sadhu, Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, the Sadhu is someone who lives their life on the principle of the Shastra. And obviously we know what is Shastras. Shastra is this knowledge which is coming. So Guru and Sadhu actually shows us how actually we put the knowledge into application. So that's why Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, this is the three fundamental principles in our devotional life. And whenever we try to do some action, we say, okay, is it aligned with Guru, Sadhu and Shastra? Because if it is not aligned, then it's not the right thing to do. So, ultimately, after that, when someone actually try to align that, and this is the thing, that if a Jnani gets this knowledge, that okay, I have to align this with Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, then they will sit down and say that, okay, why I have to do it? Let me find some, different kind of analogy, why it is happening like that. And it spend hours and hours of time to make sense out of it. But for a devotee, no, it has been instructed in Srimad Bhagavatam that Guru and Sadhu and Shastra, we have to align us with them. So let me just imply that. But is it a blind faith? No. Are we saying that if you want to be a devotee, just blindly follow that? No. What is showing here, the devotees, they're reading it in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? About all the exalted devotees and how they have surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord. And they have done it based on those principles. So when the devotee is saying, okay, they have done it, and they are very glorious, they are very exalted devotees, they are very dear to the Lord. And what's my ultimate aim is to awaken that love for Krishna. If they have done it by following this principle, why shouldn't I follow it? Simple. Like A is to B is to C, then A is to C. There is no need for going through all this different kind of, taking more and more knowledge to understand why it is like that. It's not the reason, it's the means that we need to understand here. That why we are doing it. So that's why when someone received this knowledge from a bona fide spiritual representative from the disciplic succession, then they come into this path of bhakti. Now, bhakti actually comes in different forms. Bhakti comes as knowledge, bhakti comes when as deity, bhakti comes in the form of holy name, bhakti comes in the form of prasadam, in different forms. And then that's why it's important that the transcendental knowledge, that knowledge, like which is not mundane, it's transcendental, which you receive from a spiritual, bona fide spiritual representative. When someone receive it, they actually apply that. And that's how we remain in the path of bhakti. Because without that knowledge, it's basically, you see how it's explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, that if you have the knowledge, then for these exalted devotees there is no suffering. And if you don't have the knowledge, if you have the ignorance, then it's all suffering. It's a very simple example, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The Pandavas, they were like put into so many different kind of difficulties. Right? But still, in the forest or in the, when they were in disguise, 12 years, they spent 12 years of their life. But they were happy. They were satisfied with whatever they had. But on the other hand, Duryodhana, although he had all the things, the kingdom and everything, but every time what he is thinking about, he is full of anxiety. What if the Pandavas come back? What if the Pandavas comes back? Like he's not happy, he's always under anxiety. Same with like Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad Maharaj was put into, every day he was put into different kind of atrocities. Want to kill a 5-year-old boy. But he's happy. He said, okay, today what are you going to try with me? They say, okay, today we are going to throw you in front of an elephant. Today we are going to throw you out of the cliff. Today we are going to put you in front of the snake. He said, okay. He knows his process. He just used to sit and say, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's what he's just chanting. And nothing can touch it. And he's happy. But Hiranyakashipu, today you have again failed. Every day he's getting the news that they are failed, they are failing. And he's continuous anxiety. So the devotees, they have the knowledge. They know that Krishna will protect. If Krishna wants to protect, he will protect. If he doesn't want to protect, then whatever comes, someone like Nishingadev will come and destroy. So that's why, like the knowledge is no suffering, having that transcendental knowledge, but ignorance is full suffering. Knowledge will set you free. Ignorance will bound you more and more. So that's different. That's the importance of this transcendental knowledge. That's why it's so much emphasis in, as Srila Prabhupada, every lecture, every second lecture, or like every lecture, read, like listen. Because without getting that knowledge, we are not getting away from anything. We are still sitting here. So that's why once, someone asked that Srila Prabhupada that what is your objective, main objective coming to the West? What do you want to achieve? So the disciples thought that Prabhupada will, he'll give answer that he has to propagate Krishna consciousness or to tell people who is God. But Prabhupada gave answers. One sentence: to destroy ignorance. That was his answer. Like, in his pranam mantra, right, we know, Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. To get, get rid of Nirvishesh, Shunnavadi, voidism, everything he wants to take it away. Because that's what putting all the people in this kind of situation. He is saying, as soon as ignorance is gone, as soon as ignorance is gone, people will find their true identity and there will be true happiness. Just imagine, if this room is dark, suddenly it's dark, and you have to take out this darkness out of this room. How can you do it? Is there any means that you can take out this darkness by any artificial way? Rather than, what you have to do, you have to bring some light. That's the only way of taking out. So if someone is in darkness, in ignorance, you can't simply take out the darkness out of them. What you have to do, you have to introduce light. And once the light gets introduced, the darkness will automatically dissipate. So that's why sometimes, it's like, okay, like someone is in ignorance, take them out of the ignorance. No, you can't. You can't take someone out of ignorance. Remember, that's one of the modes of nature. What you have to do is introduce them to the light or mode of goodness. That's the way that the ignorance will go away. So, that's why we see that ignorance is so much prevalent in this material world. It's even something very valuable in front of people, they don't recognize it. Like in Krishna, in the Raja Vidya, is given like king of all knowledges. What is the first verse that Krishna is telling Arjuna? That I am giving you the most secret knowledge, secret of the secret. But how come it is a secret if he is already giving it away? Or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that I am giving this secret, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, to everyone. So it's not secret anymore, right? But still they are saying it's secret. You know why? It's because when the ignorance is there, right? So no matter how much valuable things in front of you, you will not understand the value out of it. Suddenly when that light comes, as I said, the light comes and suddenly you see, oh, how valuable this is. And that light is the knowledge. That light just comes and you said, wow, this is so wonderful. How come I didn't see it yet? Bhagavad Gita was there for 5,000 years. So that's why, it's very important that when we have that, when we have that knowledge, first of all, that we have that knowledge from bona fide source. And when that comes in a proper way, that actually reveals that secret. And we say that, wow, such a wonderful thing. So then, Srila Prabhupada, again, I just wanted to, put it here, that Srila Prabhupada said in the Madhya Leela, chapter 25, verse number 278, Srila Prabhupada is saying that food grains, if someone takes food grains in the purport, then they becomes really strong, right? But for a devotee, if they just keep taking food grains, but they don't take the knowledge, they become weaker and weaker day by day. But on the other hand, if a devotee doesn't take much food grains, just take a drop of water, but takes the knowledge, they are always effulgent, they are always happy. That's how it works for a devotee. If the knowledge is not going into a devotional life, then no matter whatever external things that you are doing, it will not give you strength. Because, performing devotional service and everything, you need strength, right? In Kali Yuga, there will be so many things will come, external forces. So you need strength. You will not simply get strength by having 2 plates of full halwa. It will not give you that strength. The strength will come from this knowledge. So that's why, again, Srila Prabhupada said, when this knowledge is coming, take with rapt attention. And then you say, okay, rapt attention, what? Okay, I'm listening to Bhagavatam class, rapt attention. 5 seconds and snap somewhere else. And again, no, okay, bring my mind. What to say about the listener? Sometimes the speaker's mind also goes somewhere else. And then you have to bring it back and say, okay, no, what are you talking about? Because the mind is play all these tricks. So then, what is the secret of this listening with rapt attention? So, listening with this rapt attention is only possible when someone has a pure mind, when there is no impurities in the mind. If there is impurities, then what happens? That the mind snaps away. Because impurities comes from impure action. The actions are not impure, not pure, then all these impurities come into the mind. And what are the action? 4 basic action, like, sleeping, eating, mating, defending. If those actions are not pure, then impurities will come. Then someone can ask that, Prabhu, what does it mean by pure sleeping? Like, we are just sleeping, right? What is pure sleeping or pure eating? All these things, the purity is there that when we are doing it for the service of Krishna, okay, we need to give our body a rest. Okay, we'll sleep for 6 hours. We wake up for Mangala or morning program. What is that? We eat, we take prasadam, whatever we need for to maintain our body. Rather than it's a simple lifestyle, right? Simple living, high thinking. That's where the purity lies. So if someone goes into that platform, then that purity remains in the mind. So when that purity is there, then you can listen with rapt attention to this knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Otherwise, your mind will... And that's also true for chanting. While you are chanting, right, if there are impurities are there, your mind will be snapped away. But as much as you are trying to make your life simple, then you will see that all those things will start to go away. It will not happen in one day, but it will. That's the secret. Again, that's another secret. But it's just the thing that when we go through that, all these impurities come, that we are saying that, okay, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, they actually force us to seek more. And whenever we seek something more and more and more, like materialistic things, it pulls us down, 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 down. So like from passion to ignorance to everything. So we just have to make sure that we remain in that platform of purity. That simple living, high thinking. So then, I'll just finish it now, I know that it's time, just with the 2 things. So that the first principle of the process of bhakti, the first thing is, as it says, is utsaha. That have always enthusiasm. And when the enthusiasm comes, what does it mean? That you are using, we are using our intelligence to serve the Lord. It's utsaha is coming. There is 2 types of utsaha also there. There is a good utsaha, there is a bad utsaha. The bad utsaha actually sometimes create disturbance. But with the good utsaha, it uses our intelligence to serve the Lord. And how that utsaha comes from? Is from shravanam, from listening. Listening with rapt attention, the transcendental knowledge. And at the end, the point that I would like to mention in today's class, that just to go ahead in this path and to remain, to keep our enthusiasm always on high, just forget all the negatives. Whatever negatives happens, just forget and focus on the positive. Always all the positive things, just focus. And because without that, if the more negatives is there, it's not possible for us to chant the holy name in a proper state of mind. So that's why focus on hearing and chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for attending the class. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.